Hey y'all. I know these guys are a little overexposed right now. But they are pure white. But y'all are gonna have to forgive me on that one for a minute. We're gonna get to work. Spiritual. Spiritual. Tubes today. $12 new basic bitch colors. Play with today from Liquitex. These up on Amazon for about 50 bucks. Or is it 40? Somewhere in there. You're going to want a lot of whatever your primary is. You're going to be doing a lot of painting. Especially if your pile of shame is as large as mine is, you're going to need all the help you can get. And this shit's really good for base coats and layering if you use it correctly and you mix it correctly. Now, will we is the question. But got some choice, got time, got our reds. First things that we absolutely reds in our box. We have y'all set up off camera, but decided tonight that a little bit last minute stream, just wanted to work out and just didn't have the lungs. So if I start coughing up a whole bunch of snot on cam, y'all know why. It was directly related to the fact that I was trying to go ham on some lifts, and case in point. Damn. Damn, son. I see Saribot has caught up to us a little bit here, but yeah, this flu's kicked my ass. Won't lie, and I'm 90% sure that's what it is. I was boostered up all to hell. I've been boosted. I've already had COVID this in the last 3 months. So yeah, and the last time I had COVID, it was just basically a minor fucking annoyance. So and I am going to phrase it just like that. That was not my first time with it. It seems to only happen when your boosters are running low, and yeah, some other shit happens. So anyway, we have a few, and by a few I mean a lot of minis to get some slathering on here tonight. You guys can kind of see them in the background a little bit now, making their way front and center. We're going to be having a field day with these guys, getting things up to speed, but yeah, a little bit of a fun time tonight. A little bit of fire in my guts. Let's get some Woodford to relax and chill down with. Being sick's always rough. I did get a good 2 mile jog in this morning, but yeah. Okay. Woo. That's what I want. All right. We're going to use a little bit of that eventually. So we've been working with the purples, as y'all remember, last stream. That's going to continue to a lesser extent tonight. We're gonna get our blues. Got plenty of... Really have a plan tonight as far as how we're painting or what we're painting, but we'll figure it out as we go. A lot of people will tell you to have a plan for your models. Honestly, after I've had a few of these for over a year, and any plan that I had for them kind of went out the window. Sometimes you just gotta sling it and see what sticks, what you like. That's kind of where we're at with these guys. Now, we will spend some time on these. I don't know how much exactly in terms of hours, but we're going to be trying some techniques and trying to figure out how to lay stuff a little better, and I'm just going to kind of go from there, because I'm still learning. I'm by no means Golden Demon by any godforsaken part of the imagination. I'm barely a tabletop standard kind of guy, but we're going to just get some stuff moved around today and see what we like. Got some sponges somewhere that I've got to go, because apparently they've gone AWOL, which is unfortunate. Got one sponge. We'll need green. We have plenty of black now. Many shades of green. Been kind of working our way towards having in the stack. We are going to need that buckskin brown. I love it for leather, and we're messing with fantasy minis tonight. So at some point, I'm going to get the gumption to just have undyed leather of some sort. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it, so I do love a good earth tone to bring a mini back down to earth. I know that was terrible. Y'all came here, y'all knew what y'all were getting into. Dad jokes and bad paint jobs and a little bit of lo-fi music here and there, and yeah. That, our flesh tone's ready. I don't know if this Vallejo flesh tone is savable at all. We're about to find out. Looks like it's mixing up pretty decent inside the jug. Might be a good good mid layer. Got our yellow ochre. Looks like it's doing pretty well in there. Another brown, which we're going to need for our base coat for the leather. We're going to try to use the buckskin where possible. Also, guys, shake the hell out of your paints if they've been sitting a while. Don't be like me, forget, and, you know, end up with a paint running all over your fucking palette. Don't do that. It's bad. Just waste a lot of money. Alright, we got our black cherry, which I'm also a big fan of. This would be really good. I'm hoping it's still good inside the jug. This would be another good one for flesh, for paler flesh. If all goes well tonight, we might even do some darker skin tones on a couple of minis. I've got a couple ideas. I don't know which is getting what yet, but I've got a couple of things in mind we might make happen. We'll see. Still need sky blue. So the reason I use a lot of the cheaper paints is, one, this is an expensive hobby. It will nickel and dime you if you're not careful. And two, for a lot of the base coats, most of that stuff is going to be the same. Okay? What you want for like colors that you don't trust yourself to mix. Now this I can mix all day. Like, I'm pretty good at mixing blues. But for colors where you're not quite sure you can nail the shade, I find that that's where specific colors come into play. So just kind of keep that in mind as you guys are working. There's our big flesh tone. So we've got our natural peach here. Got our light orange, which I can also use in the making of flesh tones, by the way. If you want a little bit more hint, you can use it as a base. And in fact, I might show you all that a little bit later on once I buy another bust. And I will buy another bust. I also got this little guy, so I'm going to be working with some yellows maybe. But you can use that to redden up your skin tones, and then they won't look so pasty. So like, if you're trying for like a more humanoid flesh, some of this as your base, and then like this as like kind of a really thin layer over it, and then you just kind of build into this as like your highlight, right? That'll be your highlight. Or this somewhere in the middle. This could be your mid-tone even. Instead of the flat flesh, you could use peach. It's just fine. They expressly call this one flesh tone, but a lot of companies will sell it as peach. Truthfully, I kind of prefer them to sell it as peach. When they usually sell it as peach, it's got a little bit more pink in it. Or a little bit of orange, or a little bit more orange. So you can skip steps too, depending. If you're actually talented or patient. I am your impatient, talentless version of a minis painter. And a fucking redneck. Yeah, here you go. So this is the Georgia peach. This one is, obviously this is not a peach color. Certainly not a Georgia peach, for those of you familiar with peaches. But this is a little closer to a peach in some ways. But I like to use that as a highlight too. Like if I don't have this, I will gladly use that Georgia peach as a highlighter. So anyway. Break out an aqua tonight as well if we had to. So we'll fool with that here in a minute too. But let's get started. So this aqua's in it. Yeah, it looks like it's fine. Felt funky at the bottom. Shake the fucking piss out of it. Get that paint rolling back around in the water. Get it to mix back up. You can get a paint shaker. Those help out a lot. This is like my Death or Six different hobby that I do. Kind of my super relaxo mode. I don't want to go super ham on it. A little better. We'll shake it up again before we use it. How about that? Been 15 minutes and all y'all have seen me do is get paint off camera. you can cut that down a little bit if you're doing it on your own, but if you're not sure what colors you're working with for the night, it can take like that. I have one more thing to fetch. I'm so sorry. We're gonna go look for my damn sponges. I bet you that's exactly what happened. I bet you I took him home. I took him somewhere and they haven't brought him back. So we got one sponge. Well, that's going to be a pain. I was looking for... You guys have seen some other aftermath on Twitter, but not the actual... They're in the car. I'm not gonna go looking for them that far. Alright, it's been 20 minutes. Fuck it. We're painting. We got a sponge, which is better than no sponge. So we're just gonna sling it. How about that? So, our first order of business is picking out the models we're gonna work on. I'm kind of leaning on this dude. I know nothing about this mini, other than it's a Raging Heroes model that I picked up. It was too good of a set to say no to, and I caught it on like Valentine's Day, part of the two-parter, because that came with him, and I got it mostly for her. I won't lie. Mostly because I kind of already know who this is going to be. This guy, I was originally intending it on being somebody, but I since have found a much better model to represent the guy. So we have a new thing to make, and a new story to go along with it. So, and sometimes as you're painting, you're gonna find that you kind of whipped him up in your head. So that's kind of what we're hoping for this guy. We're just gonna spitball it, see what happens. Maybe it'd be something I can write a short story about, and try to get back into writing a little bit, because I used to write a little bit too, but that was many moons ago, back when I thought I had talent. But I'm good enough to be a good DM. So, their official paint scheme for this guy, I will go ahead and put that's exactly the one I was looking for. I found him on the first try. So this guy's official scheme looks like it's purples, reds, and grays and black. I kind of like that scheme. It's a lot of colors I don't usually work with. Like, you guys have seen me get some practice on some goodies, but yeah, this was the set. We're gonna kind of go with something similar to this. I just really am digging that color scheme. It'd been a lot easier if I just painted this guy black and worked my way up. But at the time, I didn't know. Another possible is we could work him with greens. Green is not a bad color to start with either. But I think I'm digging this look. If I make that green, I could do that in like purple. But we're kind of already working on a green. We have a green and yellow, do we? We got a green and blue. Well, it's splash yellow here in the back. So, let's work. Been on a purple kick here lately. We've already got a purple tabard or purple clothes vampire. So let's make this. Let's make this something different. Let's make this a green. Really do want it purple. Let's start with that. Let's start. Such a good looking color set. They did do a great job picking out the base colors for him. Obviously she's colors are a little bit more irrelevant. We're gonna be doing a lot of flesh tone experiments with her. You guys probably aren't going to see me painting as much of her on camera just because she has a lot of tiny details there with those chain links. And I just want to make sure we hit those. I like... really am digging that fucking color scheme, guys. I think we're going to go... We're gonna try it and see what happens. I was looking forward to doing some greens. We'll get to that. How about that? We'll get to that. So, I already know I'm gonna be working with some red. Let me go ahead and first you want to pick your dark shade, unless you want to try to low light. Low lighting is a little... Is usually what I do is I'll make my really strong highlight. I'll kind of wash in my darker on the mid center parts, and then in the low crevices I'll layer in a darker color. It's usually how I do things on a mini that I'm really trying on. I know it's backwards, but that's the way my brain perceives light layers. I don't know why, but it's always seemed to work better for me when I'm, you know, doing a try hard. Yeah, we're gonna do some different things. We're gonna do some stuff. Because it's all about learning, right? That is something I recommend for all of you guys that are like getting into Warhammer or BattleTech or whatever. Get a whole bunch of just cheap minis and or stuff that is individual. It has nothing to do with what you're really trying to learn how to paint. Get a whole bucket of army men, those little cheapy bucket army men. Stuff like that will teach you basics long before you worry about messing up your expensive models, right? Like, this guy is still pretty expensive. He's still like $15, right? Well, a GW mini is what, 45? So, yeah. This isn't while it's not a deal, in comparison, it is a deal. I actually need to check my mail and see if they have shipped my new Raging Hero minis. 'Cause I think they're gonna be cool. Oh, did y'all not? Oh, that's my 3D print file one. I was about to have a mini shit fit there, guys. This one should be full. Let's take a gander here. Okay, that's fine. Raging here. And also, keep track of your stuff. Like, we live in an era where a lot of us that live in, you know, kind of smaller areas, we kind of have to buy stuff online, right? So, keep track of your stuff. Don't get so crazy that you buy a whole bunch of shit. I know that sounds dumb, but a lot of you guys will fall into this trap. I did it too, once upon a time. Where you buy a whole bunch of stuff because you get excited, right? And you're ready to do this. You're ready to really just go ham and get in on this. I deleted that fuck. Get excited. You're ready to go, right? And you're super ready. And you're just like, this needs to be now. Like, this is my jam. And then you buy a whole bunch of shit, and it shows up all at once. And all of a sudden, you went from having like a handful of things to work on to, oh my god, now there's like 80 things in my backlog. Oh no. And then you just kind of get overwhelmed and don't do it. Or conversely, what you will do is you'll buy a whole bunch of Imperial Guard because they had a closeout deal on infantry and a whole bunch in heavy weapon teams and all kinds of goodies. And you buy like over 120 models, and then you're overwhelmed, so you slap it all together in a rush, like I have done. I can still salvage them, but it's just gonna take me going back through my boxes, getting them out. I did warn y'all, I am bad at this. I'm just trying to keep y'all from making my mistakes. Because that's exactly what happened to me. I got out of it for like over 10 years because I wasn't happy with a single thing that I did. It became a thing. To this day, I'm not exactly pleased with myself about it. That was so many years I could have been doing this and just didn't. So, we're gonna take a stab at something. So here's the only bit of red that is on this mini according to them, if I follow their paint scheme. And it's a great paint scheme. This is, do not get me wrong, I am not insulting them at all. This is genius paint scheme. I don't want more, right? So we have to find somewhere else on this mini. So I'm looking at it other than the heart, which we can do right now. We have plenty of red, so Again, we're going to come back and we're going to use the red on every mini that's going to have red tonight. Just so we don't waste the paint, right? Don't be afraid to take some paint off your brush before you touch the mini. Because again, you're here to learn from my fuck-ups. Promise you, that is one of my longest running ones. I want you guys to learn. I enjoy doing this. So, any hack that I learn along the way, learn together.
Also,
aiming very squarely at making sure we do some details. Like, I kind of want to make the veins on this heart purplish. So we're going to be doing some stuff a little bit later with this guy. So we're going to put this red aside for now. This guy is redded up if we follow the original paint scheme exactly. I might give him red hair, but we might be making 2 red heads tonight. So we're going to put him off to the side. We're going to get out Chi here. Now, everyone's like, well, what are you going to do with this Raven knockoff? Hey, Zale. Well, we're going to make her a redhead, first of all. Again, this is about establishing your basic tones. Okay? Have that red hair. Now, I don't know what else on Chi will be red yet, so we're going to set Chi to the side. Okay? Now, I know where I'm going to have a bunch of red. Okay? Now this, we're not as worried about. We can just go ahead, get the big boy brush out. It's big boy brush time. And, also, when you guys are painting, something I only learned fairly recently is, you paint from the sides of your brush, right? You don't use the exact tips. One, it preserves the life of your brush, and 2, it gives you a lot more control, ironically enough, about the pinpoints of where your brush is, your brush strokes are. Now, you can still see a little bit of the remnants of the gloss white on here because it's fucking up our first layer of paint. But that's okay. So, this is a mini that, this is one of the minis on Twitter that I said I slathered in some titanium white, and I did it on stream. Yep, the big brush TM. And, we, tried to get the gloss off of this, and it's mostly successful. It's not, obviously, it's not perfect. This is not a perfect effort. But, all we're doing right now is we're building up that red. So that when our second coat, which will also be a little thin, goes on, he's going to have a little bit already done. Gonna see how it's just falling back off here. This is the other downside to the Liquitex. You go in on it too soon after you get your brush stroke on it, you're gonna mess it up. That's okay too. So we are doing this in stages and just getting the feels for where we're at, okay? Just laying the first coat. Don't have to get it done all in one go. And when I very first started on my towel, my original towel, not the towel that you guys have seen me paint, I didn't know that. So when I slathered it on there, it looked like I fucking coated everything in house paint. I couldn't get it to be thick enough, right? So keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be good on your first coat. If your paint is thin, or it's watery, or it's just not sticking right, your second coat and your third coats are going to do the job, probably. Don't panic and slather new paint on. Once you get some brush control, you can start to figure out where you can cheat a little bit on that. But in the meantime, just start small and go from there. Like, I see that white little area inside of her dress folds there. We're not going for those. We have a lot of red paint that is wet very near it, and we have the big brush TM. We're just going to leave that be, and we're going to set her to the side. So we have 3 things now with red on it. The next thing we are going to make sure that has some red is this fire. Okay? That's what this is. This is coming off of a wand, clearly moving like flame. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and slather your flame layer on here. This is what your outer layer of the flame is going to be. And this will also let us blend a little bit with the yellows and eventually the white right down at the core of the flame. Okay? And this guy we're also going to be practicing some lighting effects on. Because again, this is a mini that I do not particularly care what happens to, right? So this guy is to be an experiment. And this is again why I recommend you buy stuff to experiment on before you start painting your expensive models. Get some cheap stuff. Stuff that you really don't... It's not that you don't care, you want to see them look good. First you start with the army men in the bucket. And then when you're ready and you feel like you can at least get the brush to where you're not shaking in your hands and you're not doing some weird shit trying to get stuff on and it doesn't feel awkward. Like, once the brush starts feeling like it belongs in your fingers, that is when you're ready to go get on your practice minis. Now, this guy, you can already tell we kind of already goofed, okay? We already kind of goofed with this. So we're going to try to ungoof this, okay? Trying to ungoof it just a little. And what this is going to let us do going to give our fire some depth. Like I said, we've already boogered this guy. This guy is already fucked. So, if you goof and you don't want to strip it all down, take that as a time to experiment. See, it's already starting to kind of look like flame. And this, again, comes back to my technique more involves lowlights, right? Because I like my contrast. So, this part isn't exactly, like, not fucked, not completely goobered. But it's enough so that You need to be mindful of it as you're working on it, right? So this is going to give you guys two very different approaches to fire. You got your reds are going to be mostly gone here, and then you've got your reds where it was added to give some depth to the flame. Now, one thing we are going to do to this guy at the very end is I'm going to take some very, very fine white that's almost completely dry, and we'll add it to the base of the very base of the flame. And that's going to give him that depth that makes it really pop. So, take a look at Chi. She looks like she's pretty much dry. The lady in the red dress is definitely not. Our boy here is, and Chi is. So, take a look. So we definitely need to darken this up again. So let's go ahead and get our little boy, the little piddly brush, the little one, the cute brush, and a little bit of paint on it. And then we're gonna go in on this sucker. All right. And the more layers I add to this guy, the less the white is going to bleed through, and the darker this red is going to get, so that when we apply the highlighting red, in the very finest touch of pink, it's going to have a lot more depth. Again, you want these layers to be just enough that you're not laying house paint. They don't have to be thick. Lots of thinner coats will do the job. Also, we're going to add some cool, like, blood to this guy, because, I mean, this is literally somebody's heart that he's ripped out, or is at least holding in his hand. So, homeboy here has got his heart, or heart ripped out. Gonna have to have okay, another little layer for Chi there, her little pretty red hair. This lady is still not dry. It's taking a little bit longer than I expected, so we're going to fool around again. Darken some flame areas. Now on the camera, this looks really good. That's something else that you have to consider while you're painting. It's something that I wish I had learned. Is what looks good to the eye and what looks good to a camera can be very different things. This might be a little too strong for the camera, but in person, that looks a little bit more like a dirty flame. Making sure that this does not have any mist coverage. I see a couple little tiny spots that we'll work on here. Just kind of taking care of the spots on this guy. So, are we done with the red is the question. I don't think we are just yet. Aside from, obviously, the vampire lady, this half-orcist. So, I'm going to have we're going to try and experiment with this, because I was originally going to have this be like Ash's mom or something, but then I decided that this would be better for that exact same concept. So, we're going to come up with something. We're going to do an experiment with some flesh tones in green. If I'm right, and I'm probably not, but if I am, it should kind of give us like this kind of sickly, a sickly undertone to her skin. So we're going to try for some. We're going to just experiment. Okay? And as you can see, this is exactly why I told y'all to be patient, because the dry spots you can see I can layer, but I'm pulling paint on the wet areas. So I'm going to set her down here in the fan area. Always have an extra fan handy. Sometimes you'll have a model that just isn't drying fast enough. We don't know what else we're doing reds on. A Christmas wraith. Kind of. So she actually fits in the arm of the vampire bat guy. She actually fits in the crook of his arm. She's part of a two-piece set. And it's kind of neat. I really, really enjoy the sets. I wish more sets like that happened. Kind of gives you a scene right out of the box. They kind of go through him. He's still wet, so we're gonna not fool with that for a hot second. So, this woman, we have plenty of red. Oh, guys, the real DM is here, / painter. Look who's here, guys. Go, baby. The walking cat? Yeah? A guest? I know, I got your covered up again. Yeah? It's so good to see you. Yeah, y'all. Are you getting ready to come? Going? Oh? Oh, we did jump. Always pay attention to your casket. If you ignore them all the time, then that's why they never come around you. That's exactly what you get. You get what you put in with cats. Okay. Alright, so there's always been something that's a little bothered me about trying to do blonde hair. That's it. Blonde is never just yellow, right? Let's get adventurous. If I fuck up the mini, I can strip it down later. Why don't we make Nightmare Chi? I read it. Blonde. We're going to give her just kind of a feathered in red. We're actually going to low light this, right? You got to re-moisturize your paint sometimes if it's in the palette. We're going to do that really fast here off cam. Might just be wet enough. Alright, so these low spots down here. This is exactly why, again, you want to brush it off before, because y'all just saw me Uber. That's okay in this case. Dark areas. I'm gonna lay this red down, but we're also gonna put a little bit of this buckskin brown. Okay. That's hilarious. So, we're gonna get the buckskin out here very shortly. I'm gonna make her hair a little bit more. We're gonna have this really pretty not quite a wash because it's too thick. Not quite a layer, too thin. You guys can kind of see where this is going. Everything is an experiment. See? Because if you don't constantly try something new, you're going to get stuck in a rut. Exactly what happened to me. We're trying something with some color theory. Kind of shooting this from the hip. I don't really know what this is. But I have some ideas. There we go. All right. Okay. Redden. Never pay cat too much attention. Alright. That. Good. So, basically what we're trying for here is it's going to make her more strawberry blonde in spots, right? And a dirty blonde in others. That's what we're intending on doing. We're going to kind of go for that few shades of blonde in her hair. Hopefully the yellow, all it's got to do is just get a couple of thicker, not quite thick, but thicker wash. Okay. So like I said, the goal here, multiple shades. His hair is really rarely one color, right? Now I get it, this is a fae, she's allowed to look however we want her to look, but it should also let me, in theory, get some shading in, really easy to follow on this wall. That's what we're shooting for. Hey, sweet girl. Welcome back. Babies. Okay. So, she's got a lot of that red on. I'll set she off to the side. That vampire over there, she is still not dry. I don't know what we're gonna do with her. She might not get painted again tonight. I don't know. Our door guardian over there. So, we need our shades. So we promised a triumphant return of buckskin. So we're going to do that. This is probably my favorite brown for yellow, or for leathers. You slap something darker on it, and then you work this on it in highlights and layers. A tiny bit of white at the very end on your final layer on the edges, and it looks so good. Or it would if I had more patience. But generally, what happens with a lot of my minis is I'll get about, say, 60% done, and then we move on to another project. And that's okay. Trick is to get your 60% better every time. More and more. Because eventually that 60% is going to be like what your best effort used to be. And then you're just going to keep getting better. Because you are going to run out of patience. You are going to be like, I'm done painting for the night. I'm done painting for the week. And then you're... That's okay. That is okay. Don't kick yourself for that. Everybody does it. I promise. As tempting as it is to get the big brush out, we're not gonna get the big brush out for that. We're gonna get the little boy out again, our little boy brush, and so everything that's not red on Chi's hair is first getting this buckskin, okay? Because we want to dial the intensity of yellow down when we get to put the yellow on her hair. We also want a layer that this is going to stick on well enough that we don't just kind of create this wash situation where you're just kind of feeding paint onto itself for no gain. We just kind of have to be mindful of where we put our reds and slowly work in, because we're trying something. We're doing different things. And again, that is literally what you want to do. And I have fucked y'all, so I'm sorry. There you go. Now y'all can watch me flail around and throw some paint on this mini. For anyone wondering why is this version of Chi full pinup, that's literally part of the point. This is a full Fae, full everything that entails Fae Chi, okay? Beautiful nightmares, essentially. You're scare-roused when dealing with this version. That's the idea. Or making something that is both beautiful and terrible. Part of the reason why I picked this exact mini. I saw it. Like, it's got potential. We actually could use red on other parts of this mini. That's going to have to come after we are done. We're going to have to be completely finished mini before we can do that. Before my devious plans can start to come to fruition. Okay? You saw I had too much of a drop there, so I just went ahead, put it on my palette, whipped it off. That keeps you from having a random just splotch on your mini. You might have the control to save it, but why take the effort when you don't have to? Take the easy shit, right? Also, it's good gaming advice, by the way. If you're playing a shooter game, farm the easy shots first. Doesn't matter how good you are, your bread and butter, if somebody's being stupid, you're going to be able to capitalize on it faster than you will trying to pull off something against somebody that's much better on the same team. Target the weakness. Take the easy shot. As you guys can see, it's already starting to kind of take shape. This buckskin, if I just kept it thin enough, or maybe added some white into it, could almost be a dirty blonde. And this is another reason I like this particular shade of brown, is it's incredibly flexible. I didn't realize we could turn it almost blonde just with a little white base coat. So I've learned a thing today about this particular paint that we may use in the future. I think it'll be cool. Kind of. It's a really good shade to work with. I think this is going to be one that's going to play well too when we get around to finally putting the yellow on here. I think it's going to play well with the yellow. Those going, well, he doesn't know what he's fucking doing. You're damn right I don't. Yeah, it's just... Y'all want Golden Demon level painting, you got the wrong guy. That's on y'all. I told y'all what I am. Right, so that on there a little bit. There, up there. So there's some white spots we're gonna have to eliminate here. Now, the thing is, if we miss some, and I mean emphasis on some, just some, it's okay, because that's going to let the yellow do when we get to the yellow. Yellow is going to have spots that are super... going to have kind of orangey hue in some spots. Like the crown of her head here, we're not super worried about 100% coverage. We're leaving a couple little areas right in there. Because that's going to... When that yellow goes on, see what it should do is it should darken the yellow. Yellow and brown. Okay. Now. Just that little bit of color changed so much of the mini, huh? And seriously, changes so much of the model. The other thing I like about doing multiple minis at once is it kind of lets you go back, look at where you were on the mini, see what you think about, or you can do anything else, right? Lets you reevaluate. And it's not necessarily a speed thing. Not speed. Putting it aside, getting a look at it, and then you can come back. Now, that part's done. See how Cheese hair is still not quite right here? If I had done this, we're going to dust very, very lightly. kind of already a more realistic color. Now this, we're in a proof of concept. We're just going to double down on this buckskin brown base coat. Okay? We're just going to go ahead. I could make her hair at this point from this color. We can either make her a redhead or blonde. Do either one at this point. Even with the brown. At least in theory. We're just going to go, or conversely, I can just make her a full-on brunette. We could just erase this right now and make her a... We add the darker brown on right now and then use this as a highlight. Then one more layer brighter and she'd be done. We wanted to. Have to, though. Now this we should probably honestly have the bigger brush out for, but we're not for now. Just getting a sense of brushes will change as in through the night. Don't stay consistent. Hairs in the brush take on paint and they change a little bit. First, I'm going to go ahead and not be able to see her head there. That's me. But it's hard. Doing this on camera is way harder. It's almost like you're starting over. Don't be afraid to buy big minis to paint on either, like 75mm stuff or busts is great. Okay. What's their team? Okay, so we have a nice little start here on her, I think. We can set that one aside. So like I said, try to work with the colors that you know you're going to be using a lot of. Take a look at her. Doesn't really have any leather on her, so we don't really have to worry about leather from here. We can just go ahead and set her off to the side for now. Anything else that we want this particular shade for? I do think there's a couple. We're gonna start adding some things here. We'll use that as our highlight color. Let's go ahead and break out a darker brown, shall we? So we got some Vallejo flat brown here. The cool thing is, of course, with Vallejo and G-Dub paints is they're pretty much ready to go out of the box. You don't need to do a lot of thinning. I mean, we're just going to go ahead and start finishing work plate. Vampire is still not got her red dress dried, by the way. Anyone wondering where she's been? Her red dress is still not ready to. Red can take a little bit to dry out when you get enough of it out there. Every once in a while you'll see me miss and hit something else. That's to be expected. Oh. On these little cords of here first, we're gonna go ahead. I'll let y'all see what I'm doing here in a second. Talking it. Alright, so just that little extra color helps out a lot, doesn't it? Let's look for our next things that we're going to be with the browns here. Oh. On this girl. Things we could add. We're going to do that. It's okay. We can fix that with the... Okay, so we've added a little bit of leather here. Quick AFK. Be right back. Alright, guys. Sorry about that. Ah. Working on her leathers. Alright, so I'm gonna show a little leather work. So we have our baseline, that dark flat brown there. By the way, if you really just want to be lazy highlights, a very tiny edge of white will do the job. Put it there. Remember, your colors are also going to go too bright. You can always do a wash later, which is probably what we're going to have to do here. Set her to the side for now. This also something you're going to learn if you do what I do a lot, where you put different pigments together a lot. You're going to learn how they all are different. Chemistry in each of them are a little different. Okay. Set her staff aside now. This chickadee's just about ready for coat number 2. So, turn to the big brush, TM. And you guys can kind of actually see a little bit of highlighting going on here. We need just a skosh of water to reactivate this red in a hot minute. Just very careful. Very careful. There are things I like about using white as my base. This is one of them because it tells you where your highlights are a lot of time. Tell you out. Because the white underneath your paint is going to catch your ambient light, make it look thinner. probably actually a problem, right? Okay. Hurt. Again with it. You ever had that fatigue all just... I don't know where I'm at. Kind of getting... It is like an hour before bed. Everybody... Well... I won't have to be pulling overtime for a whole week. Only are down one body now. Part-timer. Should be back in it. Gotta get over hump being sick. And a couple other odds and ends. But, she's gonna look. So, that red is really strong, but when we do our highlights, we'll be some edges and shit. Or oh, damn. All right, let's check our boy here. The next guy. Okay. So he could stand probably one more go. Oh. Okay, that dark red is coming quite well. Alright, so we set him back aside. She here could use a little bit more. May have too much water in this paint now, having a harder time. Fine line when you activate your paints. Okay. Here is Nightmare Chief. Set that off to the side now. Let her do her thing. She's got to dry. This red. Stop. Stop. Okay. This shit's kind of neat because it's a clear plastic and it It lets you paint it. It's kind of neat. No, I'm amused easily. But man, I feel like garbage. About this here. I want to add any red because we got the red out, right? I don't know if I do, to be honest. Add it to this wolf. Do his eyes in red. Do his eyes. That'd be kind of neat. All right, let's add a little. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a tongue in there somewhere. Work with his. All right. There's little red eyes over there. Tongue action over there, too. All right. These little fuckers. This fucker could. Yeah, this is too thin. It's too thin. Not doing what I need it to do anymore. So, a little more actual paint. All right. That already, just adding a little color to stuff can help out so much. So, next up, I did promise y'all, I'm gonna start working on some yellow, right? And the scrambled egg monster, yeah. That's a good way to phrase him right there. It adds a lot. Like, the second you add that second color onto a model, it really kind of helps out as far as, like, drawing out the colors in the model and the details. It gives your eye something to track, right? Because, I mean, you look at his back and it doesn't look as good. But all of a sudden, you suddenly can see his face. You can see his eye, his jaw and shit. It's cool. I think she needs it. So, I think you're on to the attempt. Add the yellow in. We're going to start with this deep yellow cadmium. Is it a primary or the... Obviously the one I've used the most of because my towel have it all over them. As its base. The other stuff was like highlights. Transitory colors. Wow. I promise I can speak. Alright. So, on paper, blow one more drop. All we have to do now is our friend, the big brush. Lathering it over. Fries. Orange. Brown should dull yellow enough. When you start getting really... Yellow's a really hard pigment to work with, by the way. Part of the reason you don't see a lot of guys do it in wargaming. Yellow is a bitch. That pigment, like, fuck right off. Pain in the ass. It's worth it, in my opinion. Pain in the ass. I'll try to get pictures of her up on, I know this camera's yellow balance a little weird. Still don't know why. As you see, it's already not just like a pure wash of yellow, right? You can already kind of start seeing multiple hues inside of the hair. Makes a huge, a nice, good bake. This kind of worked a little better than I expected. Not too worried about getting it on her face. Mostly because that yellow will also help. So if I do get it on her, I'm not like panicking. Also why we're working with the yellow. I need to get Went too eager. Remember what I said about having patience with your or seeing the fruit? Now we're having to fight a little bit more than we should. That's okay. I kind of have an idea where this is going. Okay. Now we need our detail brush. Hell. If I don't die from this, I'll be ready for D. God, I miss playing D&D. Alright, so grab that's going to help out a lot. So you notice how the hair actually looks, yeah, I'm definitely dying from it. I'll be the guy that dies from the fucking flu. I'll survive like fucking Ebola or something and barely notice it, and then I'll be the guy that dies from the fucking flu. I already know my fate when it comes to dying by plagues. Good old influenza is gonna be one that whacks me, boys. So y'all can already kind of tell that there's some depth in this hair that she wouldn't have normally. We're gonna let that dry. Or set her off to the side for now. Because that's really nice. Oh, I'll go get some water. I need a lot more water than a tumbler, so I'll be back. Mr. Scrambled Eggs, since we are working on yellow, get you out, buddy. Bad thing with this. It don't quite behave the way I expect you. Yellow's too. Yellow doesn't, but it's such a common problem that yellow is a shit pigment to work with for so many paints. It's the hardest one to do. I honestly don't hold it against any company that can't get their yellows to lay right. This shit is a... push the paint around lower areas here. It should dry not as pale. Couldn't even attack my weights full steam. Wasn't even a hard day at work either. Man. Let's see what happens. This guy's just a monster, right? We don't terribly... He can look weird. I have paler yellows. Always highlighted properly. Way paler yellow than yellow to get him in the door, right? We go through like 4 shades of yellow, and then we can edge highlight very carefully white. That's usually how most people finish. Most people just lay the yellow on, and then just edge highlight it in white, and that's how they do their yellows. We're gonna try to do like we did with the towel, where I have several layers of gradation before we get to. It's good practice. I don't know how much the differential you'll be able to see there, but I can definitely tell he's got a different layer on him now. Doesn't look quite as uniform, which is part of the objective there. We'll see how he looks when he dries, because yellow in particular is really fussy as it dries. We have some yellow we could work on now. Assuming I don't get it too thin and reactivate all of the paint. That was... Hi. A little better? Alright, so we'll let that off to the side. Fuck me. Y'all. Blammed out of it. Right. So now it's all starting to, as she dries, we're going to see this kind of creep around. Or like her bit. Just fine. I'm already seeing where it's starting to do that. Start seeing where the red's bleeding through. Quickly do that. put her back off to the side and see. She is very tip prone. Probably because she's got the big knockers. Alright. More water in me. Man. So fucking what? Hard to get it back in gear. Okay, so. Oh. Take a look at Chi. See how she did. Not bad. So, reds. Might leave her a brunette. Might just go with some low lights with flat brown, turn it into a wash. And go from there. We'll pull around. Our boy. How's the vampire queen here, or the lady doing? I like it. I like it a lot. So. We're going to full with, see if we can't make a, for that brown, the Vallejo brown specifically. Use my big brush to create wash, just because I know it drops pattern very well. Also big enough that I can use it to stir. Not quite runny enough. Add a couple more drops. There we go. Alright, so. Time for the big brush, guys. No wash. So. Flat. Actually, we're going to use little brush. Maybe big. Just gonna fill this in a brush and just start darkening her hair up. Brown is another one. That's fascinating. Actually, really good to know. I'm gonna have to change some color settings or something inside that camera. Wash that hair. Glad I made her a brunette. Gonna look good. That's gonna look super good when that dries. Alright, so don't be afraid to change your mind mid-mini. I was originally gonna make this chick blonde. We're gonna go for a double feature. Decided that instead she's I think it's going to stand out better with the flesh tones. She's going to have a lot of flesh. This is very bare. It'll be interesting to see how. You can already see the difference. Okay to pretty quick. Okay, so you can already kind of see where this is going. We've added a lot of depth back into her hair. Really makes a difference, doesn't it, guys? So this is more normally how I do things, where I'll take something that's really bright and just run down the lines with a darker color in the same spectra there. And then I will finalize with an edge highlight if necessary. You guys kind of already have a little preview of where that's going, because, yeah, that hair looks so much more deep. Yeah, I can see where I missed. This is also a classic problem of mine, is I'll get in a rush too. Like, if I just took my time, I would be so much better. You know, some of you guys that watch the VODs on these later, they'll remember that that is the original reason I started streaming while we painted, was so it slowed me down a little bit. Often. Oh. She's got to dry. Our boy here. Long hair. I don't know what I'm going to do with him yet. Left my dampier up top. She here. Let's see. I'm really kind of digging it. I've kind made this Nightmare Chi a dirty blonde. I think it's just the ADHD, honestly. Like, I just get to a point where I'm like, I just want to be done! And I don't have enough common sense to go, okay, then I need to be done for the night, and then put stuff aside. I think that's kind of where my problem comes in. I don't have enough sense to just put stuff down. But right now, we are not doing bad, because we have assessed the minis a little bit better. See a little bit where I've got to add some flow back in here. We're going to do that right quick. There's some pigment. Pigment back on our brush. Lightly, very lightly, some of these red areas. What's essentially now a yellow. It looks so much better. Last time that I wasn't terribly impressed because it just looked like I just fucking did yellow on top of the damn mini. Looked terrible. This, on the other hand, like, I'm seeing, like, gradations. I can see that there's actual color range hair now. So cool. I like this way of doing hair, and I think we might continue to do it that way in the future. Because once this dries, you guys will probably see it shine through the rest of the way that it's supposed to. But we're going to set Chi off to the side again. And this is also something I've learned that helps me overall, is I can just set stuff off and come back later, and it's like you're starting over in some ways in your head, providing you're not, like, you know, distracted. Look at Fireboy. Honestly, that's not bad. I really am kind of digging that fire effect. I kind of like it a lot. And I promised y'all we were going to work on another piece of flame, so let's go and do that right quick. Get some more of that yellow back in here. Our old friend here, the cadmium yellow DPU. Well acquainted with it because of the Tau. Alright, so now we gotta add our water drops. We're gonna do less water on this. We've already got some water in there. I'm gonna sling it on here and happen. So, go get our little brush back out. A little bit off the paint. No. flames start losing their heat too, or dial the intensity. Not looking terrible. First coat. And again, see why yellow is so hard to work. Pain. Well, you have to layer it so many times. But in this case, that might work to our advantage. Because trying to make fire. Watching in the right spots, we lots of. Oh. Pull some of this paint down here. Get in there. Fingers. Don't be afraid to use your damn fingers. Sometimes you goober. Like you treat it like you're 5 years old. Fingers in there. I'm sure there's a real pro way of doing that, but I think it's more fun to do it with your fingers half the time. If you don't need it to come off all the way, you don't need a cloth, right? You need something else. Cloth ain't gonna do the job all the time. That fire looks so cool. At least on camera. I cannot wait to see what this looks like dry. If it looks like it does on the camera dry, I might leave it alone. We'll see. It looks that good on camera. I'm really happy with how that looks. Again, there's camera painting and then there's in person, right? And both of the fire mages are going to let us experiment with some lighting effects. I want to learn how to do that. And I think that's the easiest way of doing it, giving us an obvious light source that can change the hue of whatever it's next to. Fire's great for that. Because I've got a mini coming that is going to be for Hope. And that's going to be a thing. She's got a lot of fire in that mini. She's gonna be a fun one when we. But yeah, I've got a mini for Hope coming, and I got a Angel coming. I have two into that spectrum done. That light orange we're going to use too with the fire effects when we get there. Nightmare Chi here. Honestly, I'm really digging it. I really am digging that. So once we get her flesh tones on, this is going to change a lot about how this model works. We'll probably have to mess with her hair again because the flesh tones are going to dramatically shift the rest of the hues on this mini. We're going to have to figure out exactly what we're going to do for this stuff. These are actually... I don't know if I want to make these like a Venus flytrap here and here, and then have this be like some kind of animal hide or skin, and do that. It's also up here on her arms, right? So if I go green on this, and then we got to figure out what we're doing here and here. Nightmare Chi is all about like bestial traits, animal stuff. She's a moon druid, right? Or at least it's supposed to be. We got to be very careful with what we do as far as the secondary color on her flesh tones. I don't know exactly. I really almost want to make this like a Venus flytrap around her breasts, and just kind of make her like an Omni Druid of Doom. Hey, it's Nightmare Chi, right? And you know we're gonna have these little clawed hands here because you can see where her nails are too long, they're too sharp, too thin. I'm leaning on doing something bestial with the secondary along her limbs. So I've got to figure out exactly how that's going to work. Yeah, you guys can kind of see this hair is really fucking nice. I'm digging the hair. Turned out a lot better than I thought it would, to be honest. So we're gonna set this girl off to the side. Take a look at this one. Just because I don't know what it looks like dry yet. After the wash. Okay, so yeah, this is why we're gonna have to do a final highlight. I've lost some of that brightness up top after we did the wash. So we can actually do that right. Let's highlighting back in here. Push. Just bring in the high. Because that's going to allow us really just kind of and use your skin, guys. You take a lot of excess paint. If I'd been really smart, we'd have used the black cherry as the base. Then we would have moved into that flat brown. And then highlight with the buckskin. Also, we could...
This is okay.
Just add. You can already kind of see the difference though, right? Already a better model. Or just a little bit more. Go. There you go, guys. You get to have a nice set of contrasts there in the browns. So, I'm going to set her off to the side. She's pretty much done for now. At least as far as the browns go. Is coming along quite well. Check out the van. Pretty solid. Also, I think I discovered part of this camera's wonkiness when it comes to colors is since we don't have enough pixels running through this USB cord here to the PC, it's just kind of blurring stuff together. So I'm gonna have to figure out a solution for that. I don't know what it's gonna be just yet. There is an HDMI out on this thing, a mini, and I've got to figure out how to run that to PC without ruining what I've already got going on here. Okay, that's a dumb sentence, and I am dumber for having read it. That is okay. I knew what I was getting into when I clicked on that post. Alright, so. Definitely need to. How'd she turn out? The highlight effect kind of worked. Last but not least, our boy here. He's ready to have some of the brighter yellows added to him. That's good. That is actually really good. I know she's capable of opening. I don't know why they help her. Very sweet. I know. It's pretty much bedtime, I know. We're still dicking off with minis, I know. I gotta figure out what I'm doing with Dude Bro, too. That highlight really worked out well for her. Yeah, I'm happy with her hairdo. Happy-ish. So yeah, cheese. Crafty bits. We're gonna have to find an animal. Doesn't have to be a mammal, does it? Why don't we split the difference, chat? Why don't we split the difference on that? She's a beast druid, right? Or moon druid, rather. Very, very oriented on the roaring for Nightmare Chi. I have an idea, chat. Well, I need to look on how to do the grayish greens. I'm thinking crocodile or dinosaur. Get the claw effect going on there. Something reptilian for that. Yeah, I'm liking that vibe. I'm liking that vibe a whole lot. Something reptilian. Let's fool around. So, we need a picture of a good gator. Well, you know it in your head, right? You don't... You have to have a reference. How you doing over there, kitty? You a small girl? Alright, so we got that dark green. Almost blackish. For the crocodile. We need... Still even let's do like stripes and banding that we do it right? We even do it with a gator, I guess. Gators usually are the striped ones, aren't they? Are gators the striped ones? Or are crocs the striped ones? I don't know. Google. Let's Google. So this is also part of painting, is just finding what you actually want to do. That's almost perfect. Alright, so they do have those multi-patterns. Yeah, I kind of do, and I should probably call the stream here if I had any sense. I'm going to leave everything, we're going to do things a little different tonight. I'm not going to put all my shit up. We're going to trust that my cat isn't going to destroy everything on the desk tonight. It's telling me emphatically it's bedtime anyway. So, we're just going to leave everything set up for tomorrow. We're going to go to bed. And, providing I don't have to work any OT or anything stupid like that, you guys will see me tomorrow. I think we're going to do some gatory, something gatory for this. Gator or crocodile, I don't know which, but we're going to figure something out for that tomorrow when I've, you know, slept on it. Had, you know, my brain not destroy itself because I'm hitting the brain fog stage again. So, I will see you all tomorrow, hope. You guys have a good night. And, I'm looking forward to working on Nightmare Chi here. This one I already know what direction we're going in. That's part of the reason we haven't worked on her that much. We'll work more on our boy here. We don't know anything about him yet. We'll work on Reina some more. And, Vampire Lady. And, our two fire mages.